I believe some recent roster moves have indicated that the Denver Broncos are going to be making some changes to their starting lineup. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this because one specific player has not been highlighted whatsoever, and he needs to. Welcome in, Broncos country, to the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. So let's talk about these changes that I believe are coming based off of some recent moves the Broncos have made this week. We'll talk about the very first one. What is it? Well, Adam Prentice, the fullback, has been activated from the practice squad. Now, you might look at that and go, Moose, that's a fullback. Why does it matter? Well, recently, the Broncos, based off of their scheme and what Sean Payton has been running a lot in their offense, have not prioritized power blocking. A fullback can be a key piece into establishing the power game, not only in the ground, but also through the air. I'm going to tell you why this matters so much for the Denver Broncos. But remember, Monday Night Football on ABC is coming up. Broncos versus Bengals. If you are ready for a Victory Tuesday, not a Victory Monday, but a Victory Tuesday, get the vibes going and hit that thumbs up icon right now. I want to see as many likes for a Broncos W. Let's talk about Adam Prentice. He's a player that is familiar with Mile High. He got signed to the practice squad during training camp, and that's kind of where he's lived most of the time. But I do believe that this move indicates the Broncos want to power run the football against the Bengals Monday night. There's one specific formation that I think the Broncos can absolutely utilize with him, and I'll talk about it here in a little bit. But if you just take a look at kind of the Broncos tight end depth chart, which has been lacking, believe it or not, Adam Troutman has had to become your primary pass catcher, whereas Lucas Kroll then becomes kind of like that semi-blocker and your other tight end. And Nate Adkins only recently got moved into the starting lineup based off of his, he was on short-term IR. He comes back. He gets activated for the Chargers game. So he's only been here for 1 week. The Broncos have been without some key pieces to run 12-man personnel. That dual tight end set is something you absolutely need to establish. And Nate Adkins, the other addition, which, like I just said, had been activated last week, is a key piece because he can also be a hybrid tight end and fullback. So Nate Adkins alongside Adam Prentice indicate to me that you can not only line up in some I formation, some jumbo formation, some strong formation, but you can also line up under center with two tight ends on either side. This is going to help establish the Broncos' power run game. And Sean Payton is a massive fan of Nate Adkins. Huge. Here's what he said. I think quietly, Nate was one of those players that I don't know got a lot of attention. And yet, there was a lot of respect around the league and in the locker room for the way he did a number of things. So it'll be good to get him back when we do. That was right before the Chargers game. Here's what I think. The Broncos are trying to set up for more early down success through the run game. There is a statistic flying around that I'm sure you did not know. The Denver Broncos are dead last in the NFL in early down success rate. That is inexcusable. It's pathetic, if you ask me. But not only does this help on earlier down success, Nate Adkins, believe it or not, scored 3 touchdowns in 2024, meaning he's also a red zone threat. And we know that creativity in the red zone, specifically on bootleg plays, are something that Sean Payton likes to do. So when you roll out to the left, you find your tight end because they can set up in the blocking game, they can have a delay route, and they can just find themselves on an island in the end zone. And that is something the Broncos need to prioritize because in the red zone, they might not be bad, but they're not great. This is the red zone success rate right now in the NFL so far. Number 10, the Buffalo Bills, Packers at 11, the Seahawks coming in right above the Broncos at number 12, and at 13, right above the Carolina Panthers. So this isn't bad. It's just not great. Top 10 is great. You want to be over 70% success rate in the red zone. And like I said, the I formation will allow, even though it sounds like old school football, will allow not only Bo Nix to feel more comfortable, but it also allows you to set up more opportunities in the run game. Because what do we know about the Broncos' offensive line so far? They've been great in pass blocking. Run blocking, it's top 10, but not nearly as effective, especially in the first half. Second half adjustments have been phenomenal. I bet you didn't know this either. Lucas Kroll, Adam Troutman, and Nate Adkins played 22, 19, and 18 snaps respectively. Meaning what? That we could have only run a grand total of 19 plays in 2 tight end sets. The best offensive coordinators, the best offensive head coaches in the NFL in 2025 run 2 tight end personnel all the time. Kevin O'Connell does it. Ben Johnson does it. Kyle Shanahan loves to do it. Sean McVay. I could go on and on and on. The Broncos need more of this. And with these recent moves, the activation of Nate Adkins, activating Adam Prentice, feels like a legit game plan for the Broncos. They're going to play smash mouth 1985 football. Now, I don't know that for a fact. I'm not Sean Payton. I'm not boots on the ground. But I can tell you, based off of recent moves, this is what it feels like it's trending towards. So my question to you is, should the Broncos make a change to their starting lineup? Should they bring in Adam Prentice more? Should they use 2 tight end personnel more? You let me know in the comment section down below. I'm penciling in my answer for hell yes. Now coming up, the last major change. It's not a tight end. It's not a running back. It is not a fullback. It's a wide receiver that frankly has been way too underutilized in 2025. Now, before I do that, I have to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is our friends over at Brunt. As someone who has to work in the yard in the Texas heat, I do not take my work boots for granted whatsoever, and that's where the sleek Marin design from Brunt comes into play. Look at how unbelievable this looks. Sleek, it's stylish, and completely durable. And if you're not taking my word for it, take it from the guys over at Brunt. They spared no expense with this boot. It is completely comfortable from the time I opened the box. There was little to no break-in period whatsoever. But Brunt is not just about work boots. They have a full line of products that you would absolutely look and feel great in. Choosing work boots used to mean sacrificing comfort and durability. If they felt good, they didn't last. And if they lasted, they completely wrecked your feet. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work way too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that just don't hold up. So they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use code CHAT at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com, use the code CHAT, and you are good to go. And after you order, they're going to say, hey, where'd you hear about Brunt? And you're going to say, that guy Moose from Broncos Breakdown with his weird face. He told me about you guys, and I trust his opinion. I'll have all of that in the comments and description of today's video ready for you to go. Shout out to Brunt. Go to bruntworkwear.com and use the code CHAT at checkout. All right, I do want to start with some news. I know we talked about the wide receiver, but I do want to just backtrack slightly. Evan Ingram was in full, go mode today. He's practicing, reportedly flying around the field. So it looks like that back injury looked more week to week, and they just kept him out precautionary reasons. It looks like Evan Ingram is going to play. Let's go to the final change being made, I believe, to the starting lineup. You got to put Pat Bryant in. 3rd round pick. I get it. Rookie. I understand. Sean Payton doesn't love to play all of his rookies. He likes to gradually increase their workload. The problem is that Pat Bryant, or as I like to call him, Mini Michael Thomas, can absolutely help you win football games. But you're only playing him like 10 snaps a game. That is unacceptable, inexcusable. And I look at Pat Bryant and I say, not only can he help you beat zone coverage, not only can he beat players off the line of scrimmage, but this guy is an unbelievable blocking wide receiver. He is full go all the time in the nitty-gritty. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to have an impact. As shown by the most recent game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Producer Alper, you can bring that up right here to my left, but if you want to bring that full screen as well, except for them to get a better idea of what this looks like. This was that big-time run that J.K. Dobbins had against his old team, the L.A. Chargers. I want you to highlight something here. Look at that orange circle that I put there for you. Who's that guy? That's Pat Bryant. Running downfield, mid-stride, holding on to his defender to make sure that his running back gets a better hole up the sideline. If that isn't willing and able to get into the blocking game and earn you more snaps, I don't know what does. This also proves to me that if you get him more involved, it establishes the offensive force. So much of offense is like a dance, right? It's about rhythm, timing, flow, execution. But it's also about energy. It's about a willingness to grind down your opponent, right? And that's where if you see players like Pat Bryant or Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, whoever, Cortland Sutton even, if you see them getting involved in the blocking game with as much tenacity as they do when they're running their routes, it'll be demoralizing for an opposing defense. And we already know that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is a lot to be desired. So get Pat Bryant more involved. If you do that, trust me when I say this, not only will Broncos country be like Sean Payton, round of applause, but you can also expect that you have a better chance to win on Monday Night Football. And that's why I say if you're ready for a Victory Tuesday, hit that thumbs up icon. If you've already hit the thumbs up icon, don't do it again because that'll unlike the video. But if you haven't done so already, smash it, subscribe to the channel. And as always, Broncos country, a mile high salute to you. Be cool.